Talk about a fairly simple example about doing a Twitter search, and we'll look at how that's going to use our local database engine. I hope this works. Actually, I'm not sure this will work with IE. I may need to do this in one of the other browsers. Yeah, let's see. Let's see how it works, because this example could be a little problematic because the local data storage is one of the least supported parts of HTML5, so we may have to try it on a couple of different browsers. Okay. Web applications can use the window object's local storage property to store up to several megabytes of key/value paired string data on the user's computer and can access that data across web browsing sessions and browser tabs. Web applications that need access to data for only a browsing session and that just keep the data separate along multiple tabs can use the window object's session storage property. There's a separate session storage object for every browsing session, including separate tabs that are accessing the same website. And so we'll look at this example here using local storage and session storage. This app allows users to save their favorite, possibly lengthy Twitter search strings with easy-to-remember user-chosen short tag names. Users can conveniently follow the tweets, their favorite topics, by clicking the link Save Search. Users' favorite searches are saved using local storage, so they're immediately available each time the user browses the app's webpage. The app uses session storage to determine whether the user has visited the page previously during the current browsing session. If not, the app displays a welcome message. So in this particular case, you've got an example here. This is our welcome page, and we've got that here, but I'm pretty sure we're going to have to wind up having to go somewhere else. Let's see how this works. Okay, so if I type from Ditel, let's see if that works. Well, looks like it might have done it. Okay. Saved searches, and we could probably add more as well. Okay. I'm surprised that's working so far under IE. I'm on IE9, which is probably the latest version. We see that previously tagged searches. Sample outputs of favorite Twitter searches. See if this works. Oh, we go to Twitter. I do have a Twitter login. I just don't remember the password. Anyone ever Twitter me anything? There's a couple of different files. You can get these off of my website for this Twitter search. Oh, jeez, I'm trying to remember what my Twitter login is. I want to join Twitter. It's making me sign in. I've been signed into Twitter in so long I don't remember the password. Didn't like wrong username. The login I know is correct. But I'm positive the password. That's the password. Try a couple of different passwords. Nope. Either. Okay, we gotta check. Are you? Hey. Okay, well I forgot my password. So obviously, let's see if I can remember it. All right, let me check my email and see if I can get it. Sorry, folks, the email doesn't seem to come in from Twitter yet. Okay, I got it reset. Let's try this again. Okay, let's get back to where we were. You know what? I'm going to go and do this in Safari, or let's try Google Chrome, because I'm not convinced it's going to work correctly in IE. Okay, so there were no previous ones. Let's just say 1, 1, 2, 2, and then the Dytel one wants Dytel from Dytel. Still wanting to sign in. I thought I signed in already. Oh, I signed in under IE. Oh, well, there we go. Results from Dytel. So it did indeed. Okay. We'll look at this source in a moment, folks. But there's three parts. The JavaScript is where most of it is. It appears to be working. Well, here it is now. It's probably going to be easier if we look at this from here. Of course, it's the JavaScript we want, not this. Yeah, there's not much here. It's just a form. The JavaScript is really what's got all the brains behind this thing. Let's see if we have that. Yes. Okay, so let's see what this says here. This part again is not that important. The JavaScript is really what's important. Look at that. There's some style stuff as well, but really the guts of it, we'll leave that alone because the guts of it are really going to be in the JavaScript file, which represents the JavaScript of the app. When the HTML5 document loads, function start is called to register event handles and call function load session searches if it's there. The sessions object stored is used to determine whether the user has already visited the page during the browsing session. So we would have to go there and take another page, another tab, okay, so it did retrieve the data we had there, so we kept it. Let's look at some of this source code. So load searches, checks to see if there's a session called here previously. If it is, or if it's not, it sets it. It gets the sets the title to welcome to the Twitter feed searches app. Right, but because it actually found it, that I've been here before, then instead it just leaves it where it's at. So what the default, basically. Now we don't see that. What's the default? Yeah, so the default is the favorite searches, or the welcome message, I should say. Gets the length of the storage, number of key pair values. And we haven't really talked about key pair values yet. It's a type of array. A key pair value is a type of array. But instead of using a numeric index, it uses something called a literal value that must be unique. So those of you familiar with programming, this is kind of like what we would call a hash map. So, but it has a similar purpose to an array, except it uses a non-numeric index. It uses a for loop to go through it, and you're getting out what they call a key. And the key is that unique value that you give it yourself. So, when you see my, doing an input here, I'm giving it a value, and I'm saying, whatever I want. I can say from wherever, another book, or I don't know what to search on. This is going to go to Twitter. So, for example, I guess we could say Hurricane Sandy. And then the key value would be maybe Sandy. And I would save it. And then I can click on this, and this will go into Twitter and find everything on Sandy. There's probably a whole bunch of it. And you can see there's a whole bunch of tweets about that there. So Sandy would become the key value. And this is going to loop through it. So it's going to get the keys. And you can get the keys based on an index. So it's a little more flexible because it allows you to do your own lookup based on a specific value that you decide. You can sort it. Tags that sort will just sort it by default in alphabetical order. Now var tag is in tags. That gets you the index out of it as well, because you can also traverse it by index as well, by the way, by a normal array index. And this simply outputs it, gives us that output that we see here every time we change it, that it adds to it. So that second for loop is just generating this guy right there. And you can see it, the value, and you can delete it, or you can edit the tag. You can also clear all searches, which simply delete everything out of that local database, and then recall load searches. You can save your search, which will then get the name and the tag and set it into the item, the local storage item. And then it reloads the searches. Deleting the tag just removes that single item from there and reloads the storage. Edit tag puts those values back in, local storage tag in the query, and the actual value that you're using to store in there. And then the start looks like it's getting the different values, and it's creating listeners for when you click on the search event. To click on the events on all these different events. So we can go in and I can say, okay, edit this guy. Now that puts that information back in there. If I save it, it puts it back in there. I can delete something. Okay. Local storage object's length represents the number of key pair values, as I said. The method key receives an index as an argument and returns the corresponding key. So you can pull the keys out by a numeric index, but you get the data from the named, key, which is something you create. For simplicity, we use the on-click attributes of the dynamically generated edit and delete buttons to set the button's event handlers. This is an older mechanism for registering event handlers. Well, yeah. Is it? Yeah, I guess it is. To register these event elements, add event listener method, we have to dynamically locate the buttons on the page after we've created them, then register the event handlers, which would require significant additional coding. I don't know if it would require that much more. Let's see this. To register these, look at the buttons on each page. For simplicity, we use the on-click attributes of the dynamically generated edit outputs and older method. Yeah, it works just as well, though. Separately, notice that each event handler is receiving the button input element ID as an argument. This enables the event handler to use the ID value when handling the event. Well, that's normally how you do it. That's why we put the ID there. The local storage and session storage properties and methods we discussed throughout this section apply to both objects. Okay, any questions so far? Okay. Function clear all searches is called when the user clicks the clear all, and that just clears the local storage. It's not that big of a deal. Now everything's gone, so we'd have to re-add everything. Clear method of local storage removes all key pair values. Load searches is called to refresh the list. Save searches in the web page. Function save search is called when the user clicks save to save a search. The set item method stores a key value pair in the local storage option. If it already exists, so basically what it does is it replaces it if it already exists. Otherwise, it creates a new one. Load searches again is called to refresh it. Remove item method is called to remove a key pair value from the local storage. So again, we have all the code that we looked at again. If there's nothing in there, we add it. We get the length. We use the for loop to go through the length to get the different values. Then we go through the loop. So the first loop creates a normal array out of the what we would call named values array, I guess, and creates a normal array out of it to make it a little bit easier in traversing. And this just outputs all of those, whatever it found, whatever data is in there. Clear all searches clears everything and reloads it. We talked about that already. Save search basically sets that item in there based on that value and reloads everything. Delete tag just removes that tag from the local storage and again refreshes everything. Edit tag allows you to edit it. It puts it back into the edit form, and then this is just what it does on start. Okay, questions on that? That's quite a bit so far.